Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? So Chase Young agreed to terms with the Saints earlier this week, and we were really excited. We're like, hey, look at that. The Saints went bargain bin shopping and found a treasure. At least something that could be really good. We're like, look at that, man. All the cap issues and everything, and the former number 2 overall pick, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year back in 2020 just falls into your lap. Like, man, they scored one. Heck yeah. And then 24 hours later, we realized the guy's got a neck procedure. And that's why there was a really soft market for him. Well, today, this is sort of another edition of As the World Turns, or As the Chase Young contract situation turns. We learned the contract details for Chase Young. And some are applauding the Saints because there are some protections built in here. I'll very quickly go through it because I know most of you don't actually care about contracts. And my feeling always is, I don't care about the money. It ain't my money. It's Gail Benson's money. The only thing, so I don't care. The only thing I care about is the cap structure, because cap structure equals strategy. It is why every year we have the conversation about the Saints going through their annual exercise of restructuring deals, because of what that does and doesn't allow you to do. Better way to say it, because of how that limits you in free agency because of your ability to spend against the cap. So again, I don't care that they gave him $13 million guaranteed. I only care how it's structured. So here's what's interesting. $7.99 million is tied to per game roster bonuses. So he gets a signing bonus of $1.86 million, a base salary of $2.7 million, a workout bonus of $450K, and his per game roster bonus is $470,000. So if they cut him, he still gets all the money. If they cut him, he gets all of that money. But if Chase Young is on the roster, but is a game day scratch, if he does not play, he does not get that money. So basically, if he makes the team, but is hurt and can't play, he doesn't get his $470K per game. So in total, that could dramatically knock down the number. He is definitely, no doubt whatsoever, getting $4.56 million. And it could, if he plays in all 17 games, go up to $13 million, provided he's on the roster and is healthy. So some may applaud that. I don't care. Maybe that helps alleviate a little bit in the structure. My bigger question is, does this mean you keep 6 edge rushers, and or does this mean is defensive end, pass rusher, edge rusher off the board for you at 14? My assumption is that it is. I mean, you're not going edge rusher at 14. You're not picking Dallas Turner or Jared Verse or Latu from UCLA at 14, the best edge rushers. Now, I think Dallas Turner likely already going to be off the board when you pick at 14. But when I look at the position, you've got Cameron Jordan, Carl Granderson, Tano Passanio, Payton Turner, Isaiah Foskey, and now Chase Young. That's 6. Let me remind you that last year, when you went to the 53-man roster, you went through roster cuts after camp, you kept 5. It's the first 5 I mentioned. Jordan, Granderson, Passanio, Turner, Foskey. Those were the 5 you kept. And now you've added Chase Young, a 6th. Are you keeping all 6 of those guys? If you do, if you're keeping 6 defensive ends, which is hard to justify, but if you keep 6 defensive ends, then you're going to have 1 fewer player somewhere else. Do you keep 1 less receiver? I don't know. But remember, last year also Nico Lalos had a really good camp and got cut, and Kyle Phillips got cut as well, and then they ended up signing the practice squad. But it's fair to say, of those 6, someone is going to be the odd man out. Last year they kept 5. This year they likely keep 5 again, and I'm assuming Chase Young is going to be one of those 5. So Jordan, Granderson, Passanio, Turner, Foskey, Young. Really, it comes down to the middle 3. Passanio, Turner, and Foskey. And I don't know that you're going to punt on Isaiah Foskey at the start of year 2. Now, it wouldn't be unprecedented. You did that with Stanley Jean-Baptiste, remember? He was a second-round pick. He made the roster year 1, never got on the field, and you cut him in camp year 2. You completely wasted a second-round pick. But maybe you give Isaiah Foskey another go because you feel like you know enough about Payton Turner. 3 years of Payton Turner, he has played a total of 15 games. Let me say that again slowly. 3 years, total 15 games played. 5 as a rookie, 8 in year 2, and then just 2 games played last year. As much as it would sting to cut a first-round pick after year 3, where is the justification for keeping him? He hasn't been healthy, and when he has played for you, he hasn't been effective. So that, for me, is the odd man out. You can keep trying to get more out of it because you used a first-round pick, or you can just acknowledge, hey, cut your losses and move on, like they were able to do with Stanley Jean-Baptiste a couple of years ago. In my opinion, because the other thing is you could sign Tano, or you could cut Tano Passanio. But Passanio has been reliable for you. He's been available. He has been a productive player as a rotational piece, and this is an odd reason to keep a guy, but remember, Tano Passanio is 6'7". One of the great benefits is his ability to block kicks. You line him up over the center, he holds up his hands, the ball comes up, and when he jumps, he can block kicks. So there's at least value to that Payton Turner doesn't give you because he ain't ever on the field. So, year 3 of entering year 4 of his rookie deal, you're certainly not picking up the 5th-year option for Payton Turner. My guess is he's going to be the odd man out, unless if he's healthy and just is absolutely unconscious during training camp. Payton Turner's probably the odd man out, and we're going to have a conversation as to whether or not he's the worst draft pick in Saints history. Because for me right now, and I know people talk about Russell Ersklaben and Alex Molden, but some of these guys played. For me, Jonathan Sullivan's the worst pick ever. Back in 2003, he was the 6th overall pick out of Georgia. And in his career, he played in 14 games as a rookie, 7 games in 2004, and then in 2005, the Katrina year, he played in 15 games. But after those 3 seasons in the NFL, his career was over. He was cut in New Orleans, didn't get picked up by anybody else. He was done after 3 years. 3 years out of the league, the number 6 overall pick. That's 78 tackles, 1.5 sacks in his career. Jonathan Sullivan's the worst pick you've ever had, in my opinion. But Payton Turner's going to be knocking on the door trying to join that class if he gets cut in this year's camp, which I think there's a really good chance he will. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.